Okay, so it's the start of the Easter holidays. It's also the start of the summer season and we're flying to the UK today. But what's our journey going to be like today? So join me as I head through Palma Airport. We're going to take a look at the works, see how they're coming along. Got to head through border control as well because of course we're going to a third country. We're also going to check out what Terminal A or Module A is like as well, which is the area that you'll be coming into and departing from as well if you're going to be travelling to and from the United Kingdom. So let's head on through departures and let's go and see what the airport is like today. Okay, so we're just travelling with hand luggage today, so we're going to head directly over to the security area. I have to say it's not actually looking that busy over here in Palma Airport. As a reminder as well, the security area is on the ground floor. No need to go up and onto the fourth floor any longer. Actually, I say it's not busy. Take a look to my right hand side here. We're at the Vueling desk, but do get to the airport in a good time because check-in desks for your flight will not open until 2 hours before departure. And you want to make sure that you're at the front of queues like this, especially if you're heading anywhere like the United Kingdom. Anyway, we're coming up to the security gates, so I shall see you on the other side. Okay, so security took about 3 minutes to go through. It's really fast today. Now just looking up the board, we can see we've got a couple of delays here, going off to Germany actually. Our flight goes out at 4:05 to Bristol. Guess what? We're back on the Ryanair and it's leaving from Terminal A and we've got gate info in just 30 minutes. So let's head on down towards Terminal A and go and see what that is like for summer 2025. So over the winter, you may remember we took a right here over towards Terminal C, but look, they've opened this whole area up. Terminal B is straight ahead of me here, and these are flights that head on into Ireland actually, so to Mallorca and Ibiza. But we're heading up the escalator here. And this does look very nice. Don't forget too as well, they're going to be opening up the new commercial area here on floor 4, which used to be the old duty free. Let's see if it's open. Oh my goodness, it is. Look, check this out. So this reminds me a little bit of the retail space over in Barcelona Airport, or Madrid actually. It's huge, it's absolutely massive. Just having a quick look around here. So to my left hand side, look, we've got all the perfumes and toiletries. In the middle, we've got piles of ensaimadas here. That's that really famous Mallorquin pastry. Don't forget, apparently on Ryanair, you can take an ensaimada as part of your hand luggage. And to my right-hand side, we have all the tobacco and alcohol as well for you to pick up. But like I said, depending how busy it is, it might be worth leaving the shopping until the other side of border control. But I just wanted to show you what it's like today. But anyway, let's head on over into the direction of Terminal A. Actually, this is really nice. Look, we've got some locally made products here, some nice olive oils. If queues aren't long actually at the checkouts, and you do see anything you want to pick up, by all means, you know, this might be a great time to get it, just in case it's not available on the other side of Terminal A. But we're going to go and check out the duty-free area. I think obviously the choice you're going to get here is going to be a lot bigger. But we've got a few other locally made products here, like the fleur de sel, and some sweet treats as well. Now, as we're coming out of the duty-free area, look, we've got actually several checkout points, self-service checkout points. There are about 18 of them actually, so you can see how busy they expect this area to be during the summer. Plus, look, we've got a little sandwich area here. So I'm hoping they're still going to have the water machines, and obviously we're going to pick up some water from Terminal A. But look at this huge area, look how this has changed, my goodness me. Look. So, as I said, look, arrow towards Terminal C and D to my left, Terminal A towards our right, and that's where we're going to head today. So we do have big changes over here at Palma Airport. Just looking to my right as well, look, I can see some loos. And it's not actually until this point that we get our next departure board as well. Just to let you know, in the duty free there are no departure boards, so you can't really keep an eye on what's happening with your flight. So make sure you check out the departure board right after security, or you can come and do it here. So just looking very quickly up at the board here, look, we've got flights heading on to the UK. We've got a Heathrow flight going out We have got Bristol, which is the flight we're on. We've got Gatwick. Manchester has been delayed. And I think that's about it within this time frame this afternoon. Now, I'm not a massive fan of getting daytime flights. I do prefer flying in the morning or late morning, but I'm really pleased to see that we don't have any delays today. So everything hasn't quite been finished over here at Palma Airport. Look, we've got signs up saying that they're working. What's going on here? Look, I think they're going to be creating more loos around here too. Works are due to finish, I do believe, in time for more or less the summer season. We shall see. We'll see what happens. We've got this huge open area, and I have to say as well, look, we've got more information boards heading on towards Terminal A. This is a lot more pleasant coming through here than it was before. It's nice and light and bright and air conditioned. So hopefully in the summer it's not going to feel too packed. So I can just see, look, as we're heading off towards the departures here, look, this looks like this is going to be the shortcut down to the exit and the luggage pickup area. It doesn't look like it's open yet, but if you want to see what my flight is going to be like coming back into the island in about a week's time, subscribe and I'll film my route back into Palma Airport. So you can see this other area here, look, of works taking place. It's all been covered up a little bit. I can see some heavy diggers there behind these banners. But look, we're going back down. So we've come up more or less to this new commercial area and then we're going back down again. But look, still quite a lot going on to our left and right. And look, check this out. I'm just going to go over to the window here just before we head on into border control, which I can see up ahead of me. But look what's going on over here. Now that's definitely not anywhere near finishing. I'm not quite sure what else they're doing, but it looks like this is part of the whole Terminal A, Module A extension. Who knows? There's still lots to do there. Anyway, let's head on into border control. Okay, so that took probably, I'd say, about 5 minutes. And look, you can just see to my left hand side here, got loads of electronic gates. The electronic gates were not open today. But look, we're coming into the second duty-free area and look, we've got loads more perfumes, lots more cigarettes and alcohol as well. So if you don't have time to stop in the new commercial area, don't worry, we've got plenty to buy here. And look, we've got loads of chocolates as well to my left hand side. So they've got basically everything here that you're going to find over in that main commercial area. And look, we're coming out into what was exactly the same, it looks like, as we saw last summer. Look, we've just come into the main Module A, main Terminal A. We're greeted by Popeyes, burgers and chicken or whatever. You can pick yourself up some pizza, a little bakery, plus we've got the departure boards as well, so we can see how the flights are going. And I can't believe it. Until now, our flight was on time. It's now coming up as delayed. I mean, this is the reason I just really don't like getting afternoon flights. Look, it's been delayed only by half an hour, thank goodness. It's not too bad. We've got a bit more time on our hands now. So Terminal A is not looking that busy this afternoon. Look, we're just coming up to a subway as well. We've got lots of these self-order screens here too. And as we come out into the main area, I'm just going to look left and right and see if this whole area has opened up. I think it looks more or less, I'd say, pretty much the same size as last year. But anyway, let's walk through. So as usual, there are plenty of places to eat and drink over here in Terminal A, but I'm going to pick up a bottle of water here. Look, €1.50 gets you a bottle. In some of the shops, it is around €4, just to let you know. And you can also pay by cash or with your card too. So it's actually not too bad value. Just seeing what's here. Look, we've got the same shops pretty much as last year, but there is a little bistro here, Santo Cristo Bistro. They do pastries and coffees. I'll have to pick up a coffee in just a moment. I've noticed the airport have also got a help area here. There's nobody actually in attendance, but there is a phone on the desk just in case it's needed, which is also handy. Let's take a look at this side of the terminal where it is just a little bit busier. Now it just isn't busy here today at all. See a flight boarding at the far end here. Lucky folks. Just a little bit of a walk down the far end because I'm pretty sure there was a sports bar here this time last year. You can see actually border control coming back. Look, we don't have any flights in at the moment, and look at these lying dormant. These are the EES machines, which won't be used this summer. In fact, we don't know when they're going to be used. But as you can see, look, it shows which routes to go down as well, depending on what passport you have. Anyway, let's go and see where the sports bar is. Is it still here? O'Leary's Irish pub. Last chance for a pint before you get on the plane. It's still here, it's still open. Okay, a few other things about Terminal A here, which is pretty much the same actually as the other terminals here in Palma Airport. You do have some mobile phone charging points here by these little standing stations. And you do have drinks machines just about everywhere in the airport as well, look, which is really good. Drinks and snacks if you are in a rush before you get your flight. Look, this one's even got food in it, not just water. Okay, so I'm going to go in search of a coffee. I think I need a very quick coffee before we leave Mallorca today. I'd rather have a coffee here than on the plane. And I think rather than going back to the restaurants, I think I'm going to head on to this little cafe here. So we're back at the Santo Cristo bakery. Let's grab a couple of coffees. So very quickly here we've got a hambaguette here for €8.50. It's not a very big one, or €6.50 for a cheese one. Croissants are €3, but how much are the coffees? They've got a few other little pastries here too. So that's really reasonable. 2 coffees are €5. That's just €2.50 each. So €2.50 from the Santo Cristo bakery, which say that's a complete bargain compared to Starbucks. And I have to say, it's very strong as well. Typical Spanish coffee, very, very nice. Nothing weak about that. But anyway, we are travelling Ryanair today back to the UK. And of course, Ryanair have been in the news, especially regarding their really strict luggage rules. Now, the flight today, I did book it quite late in the day actually. I think I booked this flight probably about 10 days ago approximately, because I didn't know what our plans were going to be for Easter and I just couldn't get anything booked anytime soon. And we got some of the last flights on this particular flight heading to Bristol. So I suspect if everyone turns up today, it's going to be absolutely packed. I suspect those luggage sizes are going to be out too. So if you are flying Ryanair this summer, just check the luggage sizes before you fly. And actually, do you know what? I've got a third bag. It's my bag with my passport and everything in it as well, which I do prefer to keep with me on the flights, but that can actually fit into my suitcase because I'm travelling priority today. So I've got a small bag, small backpack with my laptop and also a case as well. So we're going a priority today, but just remember those luggage sizes. Now, I'm seeing a lot of EasyJet flights going out today as well, and Ryanair once again have been in the news about looking at possibly reducing the number of flights that they are running throughout Europe. I doubt whether that's going to affect flights over here to Palma, but I have to say, even though their customer service, it feels absolutely just like the worst travel experience when you're getting pulled up as you're about to board the plane as well, and you're having your luggage checked to make sure it's not a millimetre bigger than it should be. I mean, that's just such a horrible experience. Our flights today were actually reasonably cheap, considering, like I said, I just booked this about 10 days ago. I paid €300, just over €300 for myself and my daughter to travel. So that basically works out as €75 each way, all the way back to Bristol on the flight, and then all the way back. So, you know, flights at €75 each way is actually pretty inexpensive, and maybe it's worth putting up with bad service too, who knows. Anyway, I'm going to have this coffee. I'm going to charge up my phone as well here. We've got charging points, as you can see, look, all through Bristol Airport here. And then I'm going to go and sit down. My daughter's bagged a really nice spot overlooking the runway as well. We've got some nice views here from Terminal A. It's great for any plane spotters out there. You can watch the flights taking off. I used to actually just work down the road here as well in the tourism business, a little bit down the road, and my office used to overlook the runway too, so it's a little bit like going back to work, except we're leaving here today. So we've got a half an hour delay. Let's see if we get out in that extra half an hour delay, or indeed if we're going to be waiting for much longer. And they don't work. So looks like we're boarding. We're boarding over at gate A20. And this is our flight today. Look, we're joined to the terminal with quite a long air bridge actually. Just see the last of the passengers getting off. Anyway, let me go and join the queue. So we have had also some questionable weather over here in Mallorca for the past few days. If you've been following the channel, I can see we've got quite a lot of clouds coming in, possibility of some rain too. But I suspect we're going to be heading back to the UK into rain as well, and leaving behind the blue skies that we have today. And I can't believe it, we've got a packed flight today and they didn't even check the luggage sizes. What a relief. That's one little bit of stress over today, but my goodness, look, that cloud is fast approaching across the Bay of Palma. Are we going to have a bumpy flight out? We may well do. And just looking down the runway here, look, check this out. I think we have got a bit of rain coming in.
Finding it, a cabin crew will be happy to assist you. If you wish to swap seats to stay closer to your friends and family, you're allowed to do so only after the takeoff once the seatbelt sign turns off. So please, as of now, make sure that you take only the seat that shows in your boarding pass to ensure that we depart as much on time as we can now. Thank you.
Okay, so that's interesting. I've just heard over the tannoy that if you have not reserved a seat, you can still sit with your friends or family only after takeoff, and only if there are empty seats right next to them as well. So you won't have to pay, but you have to sit in your assigned seat for takeoff. Once those seat belts come off, you can move around the plane.
Están abrochados, sus mesas plegadas, reposabrazos bajados y persiana de seguridad. Les recomendamos dejen sus cinturones abrochados durante el vuelo.
And look, we're just coming over Portugal here. And Palma City too. In the distance you can just about see Palma Cathedral. It's starting to get a little bit hazy up here, a little bit cloudy. Let's hope we can keep these nice views going as we go down across the island. So just looking over towards Palma Port, I can see we've got two huge cruise ships in today. Every week I'm going to give you an update as to which cruise ships we have in to help you plan your day trip into Palma, because looking at these two cruise ships here, I think we're going to have around, in the region of around anything from 7,000 to 10,000 holiday makers visiting Palma City. It's starting to get a little bit bumpy now as we're coming down the coast. Let's see if we see Palma Nova this afternoon. Oh my goodness, it is getting a little bit bumpy. And we can just see Mallorca disappearing under a veil of cloud. We're already about 10-15 minutes into the flight. They still haven't turned off the seatbelt signs because we've got quite a bit of turbulence on this flight going out. Hopefully we'll get up above the clouds soon, but it's not great. And this is where we're going to find blue skies today. Now this should be the colour of the skies over Mallorca at the moment, especially as it's the Easter holidays. But look at this thick cloud across the Mediterranean on our way in the direction of Barcelona and Bristol. Obviously, I think rain is forecast for Wednesday. It's going to be a bit of a washout, but that sun should be out soon.
Cabin crew, 10 minutes of landing, 10 minutes.
What's this coming off the wing? Looks kind of like water or something, but it's not raining. Look, check this out. What is that? I can't believe this. So that white stream coming off the plane was actually rain. It's absolutely chucking it down. Can't believe it. Look how horrible it is outside. So the bus brought us right through border control. Look, we don't need to pick up any luggage today. We're getting out of arrivals. All in all, that was actually not so much of a bad flight actually. It was a pretty good flight. I missed half of it, I was fast asleep. But anyway, we will be flying back. So don't forget, if you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel. And I shall see you on the return trip back to Palma. In the meantime, have an amazing Easter everyone, and I shall see you on the next one. Goodbye for now.